My name is Vivek and I'm from Global Indian International School. My question to you is that, in your point of view, what is the best way of spreading the importance of racial harmony?
There is no one way, right? Really, we come back to what I responded earlier to the student from Bishan. It's about respect and dignity for the others. It's about our value system. It's about standing for what we believe is right, because there will be people out there. I've always seen people who harbor racial prejudices and discriminate against others are weak people, because they are so weak that they have to use some of this as defenses against what they cannot comprehend or what they cannot understand. But ultimately, our role on this earth is to try and do good as much as possible. And so spread, the example of STEM, I thought, is an example of really wanting to make sure that the moderate, good voices come out and sort of silence out the not-so-moderate voices. So there's no one way. It is a collective of actions that we have to do at different stages of our lives, while we're in school, when we work. If you ask me, really sometimes you just want to laugh off the people who make all these remarks, because by giving them airtime, you actually encourage them. By just ignoring them, actually, it's also one of the best ways. Sometimes when people pass the remark, I just ignore them and walk away and give a smile. So I don't have a one prescriptive way. I think we have to try and continue to do and step it out in our own social circle. And you are in an international school, but they are largely Indians. But if you go out to and interact in either in an event, you'll meet people from other communities, and that's where you have to be on your guard when we see something that is being spelled out, which is not quite correct. You have to do something about it. So really, we have to stand up for what we believe is right. And if all of us do that, as again Prof. Tan mentioned, be the change that we want to be, I think this world will be a better place for all of us.
Laws have very limited use. Laws don't develop understanding between people. Laws cannot make discrimination disappear, racism disappear. Right? It just prevents people or gets people to think about the consequences, right, if they want to engage in a certain act. So remember, right, laws are not the solution. Right? In fact, it is the non-legal things that are more important. Personal action. How do you develop certain codes of conduct? Right? How do you deal with these sort of things that are more important? Now, racism. Let me just say this, right? Racism will never disappear. Right? It is the way. It's something that I think we just have to live with, right? Someone comes into the room, right? Someone you have not met. We try to make sense of that person, right? And unfortunately, the human mind, we tend to put people into categories, right? So you see a person with white hair, right? You probably say, okay, this person is probably of a certain age, right? So we put people into boxes. Now, but does it mean that we can't do anything about it? Yes, we can, right? So we make certain assumptions, but then we got to ask ourselves, is that accurate?
We expect to be criticized for what we're doing so that we can improve. But let the criticism be based on facts, not based on something that you heard on the internet, you can't verify it, and you say, hey, he is so and so and so and so, right? So you can express an opinion. If you think, let's say, a certain minister is lousy, that's an opinion, we won't go after you. But if you say the minister is corrupt, you must back that with facts. Because that's an accusation, that's an allegation. Right? So certainly we don't want that to happen in the real world. If you tell me I'm corrupt, I will ask you to justify it. If not, I'll see you in court. Right? How can you then say the same thing on the internet and get away with it? Cannot be. Netizens, all of us should come together and develop a code of conduct, or what we call netiquette, that we can all agree upon. It is supposed to be a bottoms-up process. And I will tell you very candidly, the government doesn't have a hidden code that we have all written ready to go. We don't. Okay? I'm the minister, I should know that. We feel that this is an important process, and we want the internet community to take charge.